Hey, and welcome to day 3 for 5-day Fitter After 35 challenge. And today's lesson is probably my personal favorite, as this have been in past when I have done these challenges, probably the day where people are getting most aha moments and tips like that. They are like that. Wow, I never thought it this way. So you are gaining new perspective, how things might not be how you have been always them or you have been thinking they are. And today we are going to talk a little bit about self-sabotage. But before going into today's lesson, I want to tell huge congrats, especially for those who are watching replay. So if we start with a little bit debrief, what we have been doing. So day 1 was all about defining what got you here, why you are in this challenge, and making sure that you are doing it for right reasons, and you are setting your goal in a different way what you have probably thought earlier. And on day 2 we were defining that goal and creating already action plan, what you are going to do this week to get little bit closer to that your goal and increase your success rate. And today, like I said, we are focusing on what could be coming on the way, and somebody is calling it self-sabotage, and that is probably like I said, one of the most valuable lessons we are going to do in this whole challenge. So let's I want to ask you, how did you execute your process goal yesterday? And if you are like, the goal was that you should be writing what you are going to do, and what if something happens, what you are going to do if life is happening, what you are going to do if life is happening and you can't do it. So if you are someone who didn't actually do anything, and that is what most people don't understand, that is a win. That is achievement. And before you are thinking that this sounds stupid, I didn't do anything, why I should think that it was a win. So it's time to look back a little bit and look why you didn't take action. Was it that what you were aiming, was it too much, or was it not specific enough? So all these questions you should be asking yourself. Were you able to start taking action? If yes, how did you celebrate it? Because if you were able to start action, whatever you aimed for, most of us, but you didn't celebrate it, because most of us, they are very good at celebrating others, but very bad at celebrating ourselves. So regardless, if you actually did what you wanted, you need to celebrate, even in a small way. Like, this is something what I always encourage my clients to do when they are at least starting to do it. It's same for me. If I think that what is my actionable plan, I plan to work out 2 to 3 times in a week, and every time my goal is I go a little bit deeper as later, but when I finish what I have started, I don't have to finish whole workout, but when I get myself into action taking mode, I celebrate that every way. My way to celebrate it is that I'm going to have tasty protein shake after every time I started action. It's just a small little way to recognize myself that I started to take action. And other good thing is why that is then important. Like, if you think that if you have kids, or you go to watch your child's ice hockey or soccer game, and your child is shooting, so you are celebrating regardless if your child is scoring or not. So when your child is trying, and when somebody is celebrating, he's getting more motivated, and he's keep trying to do those things even more. So this is the power of celebration. When you allow yourself to celebrate your actions, starting to do something and trying, you are getting more motivated to keep trying and keep going, because action is the only way to get results. And we are going to go for that a little bit deeper later today. So some of you are feeling that you are staying behind. You might be scared, for example, that calorie deficit or these new habits, that they are not working, or that you are not there where you should be. So if this is you, think to who you are comparing yourself. If you think that you want to be more ahead where you are at the moment, where is that coming from? Do you see maybe some of your friends post some wins or results you would like to get in social media? And this is all coming from where you are comparing yourself, because social media, it's making us to compare. And as you know, how majority of people are using social media, they post their only highlights of their life. There is very few, unfortunately, who are posting like real struggles, what is going on, as those are not something what you naturally, nobody wants to share them, like when something is not going as a plan. And if you think in fitness journey, if there is like most coaches or influencers, they are never posting results that are average or bit below average. So imagine like some kind of influencer who is running some kind of fitness challenge with let's say 1,000 people, and you are seeing then after, you are seeing those before after pictures and maybe 5 before after pictures and testimonials from those 1,000 people. So that's like a 0.5% of all people. And then if you think that where you are comparing yourself, like I personally, I don't like to use, I know that it would be honestly probably the most effective marketing strategy to post more before after pictures about results. I know I need to do it. Sometimes it's not only to show how good I am at coaching, but it's also helping you to get more belief that what is actually possible. But if you are using it, comparing yourself with those top 2% of transformations, what people are getting, you are comparing yourself with the 0.5 to 2% of most successful people. And if you are somewhere in the middle, which is still very good, how you think how it makes you feel good, make you feel about your progress. So probably it's not going to be, you are not going to make that I'm making so much progress. So there is a good example. If somebody is commenting in my Instagram or TikTok post that she's losing only 3 kilos in a month, and it's so slow. And if I'm always asking, where are those expectations coming from? What is a good progress? And if you see that somebody is losing 10 kilos, 15 kilos, who cares? Who the fuck cares? It's often, especially if it comes for weight loss, faster progress is not better progress, because faster you try to go, more sure it will be that those results won't be sustainable. So if you feel that you are behind, we all do that. Or do you know someone who is saying that, oh man, I'm so much ahead where I would like to be, where I want to be, or that, oh, my progress is so fast, I could never believe that it's so fast and it's never stopping, it just keep going. The key is recognizing that being part of being human is that even if you are not exactly yet there where you want to be, it will always happen at some point when you keep going. And only way how to do it is that you don't quit. You are not, you don't quit today and keep going for one more day. So if you are comparing yourself and think that you are behind, think what you are going to do. So you will probably feel pretty miserable and you will end up quitting. So where is that going to lead? Obviously, I don't need to tell you, you are not going to see any results. So instead, if you think that you are exactly there where you have to be, like one of the best coaches I know, Tony Robbins, is telling it pretty well. And he's saying it always, that life is happening for you and not to you. So there is a big difference and a way of thinking how you are seeing things. So same things can mean different things, and it's all about how you are seeing things. And we will talk now a little bit more about self-sabotage. And so what is then self-sabotage? So it's something that you know what you should be doing, but for some reason you are not doing. So if you have ever done something that you know that it's not good for you, raise your hand. And I'm here with both hands up, jumping, because I have done it a lot. So why do we then stop and quit, despite the fact that we have all the knowledge? You want results, and but why you do things that will prevent you to getting those results? So let's say that I use this an example as a weight loss or losing fat, but it could be reaching any of your fitness goal. It's just then to have some idea in your head. So you stop tracking your food. You keep overeating on the weekend. You skip your workouts. So why does then it feel like that 1.5 on your shoulders is fighting against that other half? Like there's on other shoulder is like a evil, and other one is an angel, and they are fighting against each other, that who is going to win, what you are going to do, and why does it then feel like that? So because there's a big difference, knowing and doing, they are not the same. So watching more videos and on how to do it perfectly and to know everything is not going to help you to get your results. So the most effective way is to start taking messy action, make mistakes, learn from them, adjust, and keep going. So, or how many people do you know that they have been eating and working out their whole life without making any mistakes? So like, I don't know anyone. And I have done so many mistakes. I have learned from them. I still make mistakes. I don't always learn from mistakes, but at least they stay in my head. And more often you do this, more mistakes you make, more you learn. And usually the most successful people are the ones who have done the most mistakes. And why is that happening? We will talk just in a minute. So the symptom is not the problem. So you are seeing that symptom. So you are maybe great at tracking food, but if you are eating a meal that you don't know all the ingredients and you can track it perfectly, now you think that because you can track it perfectly for one meal, you won't track for a whole day or for a whole weekend. So now you are trying to think that I must find some ways to be more consistent with tracking, because that is helping you. And I'm talking now that about tracking, those people who are tracking, I'm sure that they have done these things many, many times. So you are focusing in this case for symptoms and not the underlying problem. So this is an other example to understand this better. So let's say that you have lower back pain. It's a symptom. So there could be 4 reasons for lower back pain. There are so many. It could be lack of mobility from your hips. It could be bad shoes. It could be sitting with a bad posture or too much, not moving enough, lack of strength training, or lack of strength in your core, just to name a couple possible reasons. And if you try to treat this problem, that your lower back pain, by taking painkiller or going to some massage, you are never going to solve that underlying problem. It will fix the symptom. So probably you will get some pain relief for your lower back pain in short term, but it will never be long-term solution. And you will continue having that lower back pain over and over again unless you fix the root. And same thing happens with the self-sabotage. So we continue eating for emotions. We are not going to go to gym, even we say that we do. And this is something what I when I said that knowing and doing are not the same thing. So you know that you should be stopping doing it, but if you try to focus on that symptom, you will never go to those roots, what is actually happening. So how you are able to recognize that self-sabotage? And to be honest, it's very, very hard to recognize. So think it this way. This is a great example. Think it like that. What is it's like kind of if you have like spinach in your teeth, between teeth here, and you probably know that someone is having something here or having some mayonnaise on your cheek, and they are eating, and you are happily they're laughing, and then you are looking at why all those people, they are looking so weird at me, and you are like that. They are telling that, hey man, look your teeth. Sorry, there is something between your teeth. And when you're like, oh, thank you that I had it. Or then you have other possibility to recognize it is that you are going to toilet, you watch into a mirror and you are seeing that, holy shit, what I have there, my whole face is like, and nobody's telling me. And this is kind of same thing with the self-sabotage. So you need either have a coach or someone else who is having some kind of tools or like a mirror to see it yourself. So if you keep having, because those are some things that you don't know that you are having, or that you are self-sabotaging your own journey, so that you are your own biggest enemy. So if you want to get results, as if you don't want to get results, you wouldn't be here. And think it like a tree. This is those leaves, and everything what is above those roots are those leaves. And they are the visible results everybody are seeing, like you are fitting into your clothes, and or you look better, you have gained some muscle, and you also know that you have to take some actions. You have to do something to get those results. But what most people are missing are beliefs, which are kind of like those roots, which are from the tree. So when you are changing your beliefs, you change your actions, and you start to get those visible results. So what most people, they are asking that, tell me what to do, when you really should get started with from your beliefs. So how will you answer this question? You can write this down or at least think it in your mind. I use this example, losing weight, but if weight loss is not your goal, use whatever goal you have at the moment. Losing weight is hard because, and what is that, why reaching your fitness goal is hard? And finish that sentence, write it down or put it into the chat, and tell me why it's hard reaching your goal. And if you continue believing that reaching your fitness goal or losing weight is hard, how is that going to affect to your actions? And how is that going to affect to your results? So anything you put behind that sentence is a belief. And if you put, for example, that losing weight is hard because you are over 50, you might think that it's a fact. I'm over 50. It's not a belief. But even though it's a fact, but it's also belief that affects your success. Or how will you finish that sentence if you are telling that losing weight is hard because I'm 50 and I have menopause, I have slower metabolism, whatever reason is that age on that age, because you are not telling that losing weight, it's getting easier when you are getting older, especially women. This is a sentence I have never heard. So even if you think it's a fact, how you are going to finish that sentence. So how you see, this is where we are coming now. You are probably getting closer to something big to understand how everything would go. So how you see your goals will determine what is possible for you. So you might have these beliefs that you are not even recognized. Weight loss is hard. I can lose weight by cutting carbs, but it's just so hard. I have thyroid issues, so it's so much harder. And even all these are valid reasons. I'm not here to justify your reasons. They are also beliefs that will prevent you from getting results you actually want. So now what you might be thinking that why do we then continue having these kind of beliefs? So there are always secondary gains continuing to having these beliefs. So for most of us, that is safety. So doing and believing things like always, staying in your comfort zone. You don't have to take any risks. You don't have to put yourself at the risk to fail. And if you think that there is gap between those results you want to go and staying safe in your comfort zone, as soon as you start to go away from your comfort zone, your devil on that shoulder is starting to talk to you that I can't do this. I'm too old, I'm sugar addict, I can't be without carbs, or I have never been consistent enough. Why this time would be different? I don't have any time. And this is it's very common and happens every time you are challenging yourself and moving out from comfort zone. And how do you then start to change those beliefs? And you start to change. How do we speak to ourselves? And instead of telling that I can't do this, you are starting to tell that I can do this. You are never too old to make progress. I like sugar and that can be in control. So these are things when you are listening, how you are talking to yourself, and then starting, like, obviously this is something what is a lot easier said than done. It takes some time, it takes some effort, it takes some reminders to do it, to repeatedly start to do it more often. And then when you change the way you think about things, the things you think are about change. I read it again, or you can read it from my notes. So when you change the way you think about things, the things you think are about to change. So question number 2, what I have for you, in order, I use this example, weight loss, but you can use, if weight loss is not your goal, use any other fitness goal you have. Question number 2 I have for you, in order to lose weight or to reach your fitness goals, I need to, and now I want you to answer what you need to be doing. And you might have a big, very, very, very big list of things you should be doing, like to lose weight. You might have 1,000 things there on the list. You know what you should be doing. So knowledge is not a problem. And if knowledge would be the problem in internet, in your phone, using ChatGPT or Google or whatever, you will find there is no information, is all there, and very good information. So information it shouldn't be problem at 2023. But what happens that when you know that all those things what you should be doing, you are feeling probably overwhelmed and confused. And my question to you is that how you will react, so that, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed, I'm going to do all those things. And if you are like 98% of people, they end up doing nothing when they are feeling overwhelmed. So, but if you really think it, that what does it even mean to be overwhelmed or confused? So it means that you are always learning something new. So, and learning something new, it's always required for new results, because if you keep repeating same things you have been always doing, you're going to repeat the results you have been getting always. So if you think that you are, for example, weight loss, you are very good, you know what you should be doing for losing weight. But if you have never been able to maintain your lost weight, if you are going to repeat that same cycle over and over again, it will never change. You will repeat that cycle over and over again before you learn something new. You might be a little bit overwhelmed, you might be a little bit confused in the beginning, but it's a good thing. And you are learning something new. You are doing something differently. You are challenging yourself. You are going out from your comfort zone. And confusion and overwhelm, they are signs that you are on the right path. And you just need systematic way to get out of that overwhelm and to not quit. So what is the secret to overcoming from that overwhelmed and confusion? And that is actually what most people don't even think, but it's action. So it's the last thing what your brain wants to do. But if you really think it, when you are able to do, there's a million things, but that's why we were talking. If you said yesterday, if you did that exercise where you had only one actionable goal for this week, what you feel confident of doing. And if you have been doing it, even if it was not perfect action, it was messy action, it was doing something, but that action, it creates clarity. And when your brain is telling you to quit because it's overwhelming, there is so many things that I can't do anything, your task is to ask yourself, what is the smallest action I can take to keep taking that action and keep that momentum going? So any action level is, even if it's a small, it's a lot smaller than you would like it to be, it's an action. And if it's getting like really, really hard, and I know some of you might have really tough situations at the moment in life, I love to keep thinking it, that keep doing it for one more day. You won't quit for today. And this is something like, I have friends who are struggling with alcoholism. They are telling themselves every single day that I won't drink today. Tomorrow I can drink again if I want. And day after tomorrow I can drink. But today I'm not going to drink. It's one day by the time, thinking that today is the only day. Tomorrow I can do it if I want, but today I won't do it. And then you repeat that on the next day. So even if you think that I'm a fitness professional, I live and breathe fitness. To be honest, I'm hardly never ever motivated to do my strength training. It's just something that I don't enjoy doing, but I have been doing it consistently for the past 2.5 years, and feeling probably the best in my life at age of 41. And it's not that doing more, but actually more efficient, more effective, having actually planned, which we will talk about tomorrow and day after tomorrow. But how I do it, how I've been able to do something that I don't naturally enjoy. I never promise to myself that I have some certain amount of exercise I need to do. Ideally, my workouts are somewhere 45 to 60 minutes, sometimes shorter, sometimes 30 minutes, hardly never over an hour. But I never tell that I need to do 1 hour, especially on those days. If I'm completely honest, from 10 last workouts, I was motivated maybe 1 or 2 times. I was like that I'm excited to go to workout. 3-4 times were like that, I don't mind doing it. But 5 to 6, even more, were like that I tried to talk myself out of getting started with my strength training. But how I do it, I go there, I start taking action. I do one exercise, and then I do that one exercise. Then I tell that, maybe I do one second one. And usually I know when I get myself starting taking action, sometimes there are still days that I do only one exercise and call it for a day. But some other days, most of the time I will finish also my workout or do at least major part of it. So this is how you can make yourself to start taking action, because the plan is not to be perfect. It's all about taking that action. And then if it's not possible, you are human. It's okay to skip it, but it all starts becoming more consistent. What so many people are struggling, it doesn't start that you have to do some certain amount. It's all about learning how to keep those promises you make to yourself. So other routes about self-sabotage. Here is a few most common ones. So all or nothing mindset. So if it's for tracking foods, you are tracking perfectly or not at all. You are going to gym 3 times a week or not at all, because what is the point to go 1 or 2 times or just do some short workout if it doesn't bring any results? So question what I want you to ask, what is all and what is nothing? So, or what is something? So could you adjust your efforts, especially on seasons of life, that to make it? Because if you think that starting all over, you are never starting all over. It's if you keep taking action, even small action, it's a lot easier to add more things than starting all over. So when you are adjusting your efforts, you are keeping promises you make to yourself, and you never need to start over. Other one is dealing with emotions. So how do you react on different feelings? Many of you, me, myself too, there are feelings like sadness, stress, happiness, anxiety, and many of us are using food to avoid or solve these emotions. And there is a one sentence what my coaching clients are loving, and it goes like that: if hunger is not a problem, food is not a solution. And if you really think it, and if you are thinking why you keep eating for emotions, ask yourself, if hunger is not a problem, food is not a solution. So think it next time, and there are other ways to deal with those emotions. Then next one, it's a fear, and this is a big one: fear of failure. So usually people are not afraid to fail, but you are afraid of meaning that failure. So if I fail, that will mean that I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, or maybe you are having fear of success. So I want you to ask yourself that worst, if you are asking yourself that the worst thing about getting what I want is, and maybe you are scared of that you are able to lose weight, but then you are scared to gaining it all back and lose that all success what you have created with your hard work. Or maybe you are having fear of future and unknown. So what I love to say is that when you take a step into unknown, one of these things will happen. Either you get the result you want, or you are going to get a lesson what you need, and you are going to learn, obviously. And I have to put it like a little bit different way for you. I have a great story from one famous Buddha teacher. Can't remember for her name, but this is how it goes. So once there was a young warrior. Her teacher told her she had to battle with her fear. She didn't want to do that. It seemed too aggressive. It was scary. It seemed unfriendly. But her teacher said that she had to go to do it, and gave her instructions for the battle. The day arrived. The student warrior stood on one side and fear stood on the other. The warrior was feeling very small, and fear was looking big and wrathful. They both had their weapons. The young warrior roused herself and went towards fear, prodded 3 times, and asked, "May I have permission to go into a battle with you?" Fear said, "Thank you for showing so much respect that you ask permission." Then young warrior said, "How can I defeat you?" Fear replied, "My weapons are that I talk fast and get very close to your face. Then you get completely unnerved and do whatever I say. If you don't do what I tell you, I have no power. You can listen to me, you can have respect for me, you can even be convinced by me. But if you don't do what I say, I have no power." And I hope this gives you a little bit perspective, what is fear, and how to actually go for a battle with it. So now, what is the fear of future? So you understand your relationship with future. So future is obviously, it's anything but certain. You never know what is going to happen, and you have all these scenarios about your future in your head. So we all have these kind of 3 types of thoughts of our future in head. So it's that first is that default future, what most likely will happen. Then there is that kind of pipe dream future, that kind of what would be nice, that dream future. And then there is that worst scenario future. So what if something goes wrong? And let me know if this makes any sense. And then what if the future you will have is the one you feed the most? Like, how do you feel? Where are your thoughts go? And how you are showing up? So you might be pretty close to big aha moment now. But like you heard me talking on days 1 and 2, that you should start from your beliefs and identity. And if you are thinking now that I must start changing my being and my state and who I am, but now you are asking that how should I do it? Well, the most effective way is to begin consistently choosing the future that you are going to live into. And if that makes sense, the only time that is hard to do is when there is a lot of noise and chattering in mind all of these unwanted futures that you have been feeding instead. So think it like what kind of, if you have been telling yourself all the time that I'm too old, I can't do it, I have never been, but what if you would change those your beliefs and the way how you are talking to yourself, and that again is making you feel better, making you take action, which is leading to results like the tree. And for today's homework, I have in workbook, there is an example. So do that assignment. In workbook, it says losing weight is hard, but if weight loss is not your goal, you can change it with your fitness goal. Finish these 2 sentences and write it in Facebook accountability group. Reaching your fitness goal or losing weight is hard because, and write at least 3 reasons in order to lose weight or to reach your fitness goals you need to do, and comment with the top 3 answers for these both questions. And before we wrap it up for today, I want to do just a quick, I know we are going a little bit over time. I hope this makes sense, and you have still time to do that little writing exercise, as this is probably one of the most powerful exercises you can do. And this is something you don't need to, it's just for you. So identify the futures you feed. So it's just for you. So think it like that, identify those futures you have been feeding to yourself. So write down any future scenarios or situations you have worried that may happen. So write down the worst case, the darkest future that you have found yourself feeding. So if there is like something like that, if I give you examples, what if this doesn't work? What if I lose money? What if somebody is taking advantage for me? What if I'm not able to do this? So those are all futures what you have probably you may have been feeding for yourself. So identify if there's any other like that. What if that feel was charged? So now let me know. You can stop this and keep writing those futures you have been feeding, and you can continue listening once you have done it. And so what I want you to pick one that has most charge on you and finish that sentence. So this, if you wrote, let's say, or you are thinking, if you didn't write it, it's okay. But it's like I said earlier, it's most effective way is to actually write it down. So if you are thinking like that, what future you have been feeding, like whatever, like that, what if I'm not able to do it? I'm scared of losing progress, or somebody's taking advantage from me, trying to get my money. What is the finish that sentence, that serious part of your future is, and what I'm really afraid happening is, and what is the thing you are afraid, and what is the scariest part of that future. And now that if you looked at future, what you wrote, and what will you do if that is actually happening in order you to be okay? So what kind of values or lessons or gainings will this give me if it does happen? So, and I need you really to write it down. So what kind of lessons that future, what you were writing, like, for example, if you are writing that if I'm not able to, let's say that your goal is weight loss, your biggest fear is gaining that weight back, and what kind of lessons or gainings will give this to you if that is going to happen? And what would it say about me that I lived through that your worst fear? So how you would feel if what you would say about yourself if you were living through that your worst fear? And last question is that what can I do now to avoid that outcome? And if you got some aha moments doing this exercise, listening this lesson, I recommend to re-listen this, because your spinach in your teeth is not the same than your friend's spinach. And tomorrow we are talking about the most valuable things that you get by results by working smarter, not harder. We are going to bust some myths of fat loss, fitness, and we are starting to create your individual plan, which we will do it and finalize on Friday. So thank you for watching. If you're watching replay, huge respects, and do your homework, post your things, your assignments in Facebook group. Tomorrow I will be sending new email and new assignments. You can do it before workout, before, after, but do uncomfortable things, take messy action, post in Facebook group, show up there, and keep showing up in these lessons. So thank you for listening, and talk to you soon.